Within EDAP, shifts are identical to the shifts you're used to at your restaurant. You might have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner shift that run daily, and every now and then a brunch shift, ladies' night, or special event. The key difference is that shifts within EDAP are just better. With an added layer of automation and optimization, shifts within your table management system not only help you stay organized, but also keep your operations running smoothly in the background so you can focus on providing your customers with a great experience from start to finish. In this video, I'll be explaining how to get your restaurant shifts up and running and how certain settings translate to real-life scenarios. To begin, navigate to the Shifts tab from the Settings window. From here, you'll be able to see all your current active and inactive shifts on the left-hand side, while on the right, you'll be able to adjust and fine-tune individual shifts to your liking. Let's quickly go through how you typically set up a shift in EDAP and what the different options mean for your restaurant. The name field is where you'd give this shift a name. For example, Saturday brunch shift or weekday lunch. This name, along with the custom colors you choose, will help you differentiate between shifts as you navigate EDAP. Shift type, along with the start and end date, determine how often this shift should be active and on what schedule. A recurring shift is based on days of the week and will only be active on the days you choose within the date range you apply. For example, when I select recurring shift and then select Monday through Friday, this shift will repeat every week on these days between the start date and end date I've chosen. While the recurring shift is based on days of the week, event shifts are based purely on dates. Event shifts can take place on one or more days. For example, if my restaurant was running a special Christmas dinner on the week leading up to Christmas. It's important to note that two recurring shifts cannot overlap, but you can have an event shift that overlaps a recurring shift. The first and last seating setting determines what time you can start accepting guests and what time you'll accept your last guest. Your last seating should provide your guests with enough time to dine before you close for the night. Min covers per reservation and max covers per reservation will determine the range of guests you'll allow per reservation during the shift. So that's it for the general shift settings. Moving on to the advanced settings is where things get a little bit more interesting. The first decision you'll have to make is whether your shift availability type is table or volume based. Volume based shifts allow you to set a maximum number of covers available for the duration of the shift. This is independent of the number of tables you have and their capacity. Volume-based shifts play an integral role in managing capacity at your restaurant. This is done through pacing, an option that is only available for volume-based shifts. As the name implies, pacing essentially paces the capacity you've set over your shift. For example, if you only wanted 150 customers in your restaurant at any given time, you could set pacing to 150. Alternatively, you could define per interval settings. Moving on, table-based availability type is much simpler. This option will only allow reservations to be made for tables that are free and can accommodate the requested party size. For example, your restaurant can only handle 100 covers at any given point during your dinner shift, and you want to make sure your occupancy is maximized. The table availability type will guarantee that your guests can book their time slot if it's available, and if it's not available, the next slot will be recommended. The interval determines how your availability is split into time slots. For example, if you select a 30-minute interval, your guests will be able to select between 30-minute time slots when reserving a table, 12:30 p.m., 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., etc. Moving on to notice period. This is where you define how far in advance a customer can book a table at this shift. For example, if your dinner is in high demand, you might want to set your notice period to something over 24 hours, to make sure you have time to also build a waitlist in advance of your dinner. The final setting you'll want to edit is duration. This determines how long EDAP allocates to each reservation based on the party size, so it can optimize turning your tables. You can either choose a fixed time for each booking, such as 1 hour, which means every reservation only has 1 hour regardless of the party size, or select custom to set custom durations based on party sizes. A party of 6 is definitely going to need more time at your restaurant than a party of 1. The notes box is where you can add any notes for staff members who might want to come back later and make changes. When you're done, hit Create Shift, and that's all there is to it. If at any point you want to deactivate or reactivate a shift, use the Shift Active toggle at the top right of every individual shift. You've now learned how you can use shifts at your restaurant with EatApp. Get started today.